Go.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, man. So let's just start off with having you introduce yourself and what you do as a creator.
Okay. So my name is John Zabala. I'm a musician. I'm a podcaster. I am an advocate for the city of Reading, and I'm the owner of DELABODEGA.
Nice. So what is DELABODEGA?
DELABODEGA is basically like a multimedia company where I hold my creative projects there. It's kind of similar to I Am Mother by Pharrell, where all of his creative projects, whether it's partnerships with people, whether it's his own like music and everything like that, it's all under this specific name. So that's essentially what it is, an umbrella company.
Right, nice. So is that where you got the idea? It was from Pharrell?
Yeah, originally back in 2012 is where the idea came in, where maybe I should have my own like holding a multimedia company. And I did have a different name before DELABODEGA, where it was called Young Lion, where I was working with one of my friends from Kutztown. Her name is Nadira. She's an awesome creator and everything like that. So we were working on that, but just the distance between the two, it didn't really work out. So I was like going through mental Rolodex, trying to figure out what direction I wanted to go with this brand. So I decided to rebrand it and use DELABODEGA because that's basically my life story in a nutshell, where I originally came from, never forget my roots and everything like that. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, in addition to Pharrell, who were some of your influences coming up that allowed you to become the creator that you are today?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Pharrell, Kanye West, even though Kanye's very controversial now.
Old Kanye.
Yeah, old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. Jay-Z. More on the recent side, Nipsey Hussle, Master P. A lot of the people that inspired me the most were like the self-made independent artists that really just were DIY about it all and made a success out of themselves.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you mentioned Jay-Z and being very DIY. You know, Rockefeller and everything how they built up that empire, and then Jay-Z moved in with Def Jam and Rock Nation and everything like that. I noticed one of your more recent works titled "Can I Live?"
Yeah.
Can you speak more about that project?
So that's that song. Yeah, I mean, it was funny for me to make a song like that because one of the other influences is also J. Cole. He had a song called "Can I Live," and Jay-Z had a song "Can I Live." So I was just like, I really want to make a song like this. Yeah. So I made the song "Can I Live" just based off. It's like a combination of like personal experience and my love for storytelling. When I make music, I like to come with the perspective whether it's autobiographical or it's like based off somebody else's experience. And the song in and of itself was kind of based off of one of my friends from back in the day who was like this really cool, like influential dude. Like he really carried himself very well, but he got caught up in street life, if you will. And the song in and of itself kind of tells that story, but from a perspective where I'm trying to tell him like, hey, bro, like I see where you're going, like you don't have to do this, but then he explains why he kind of got into it. So yeah, it's just my love for storytelling kind of kicked off that song, and a lot of the other songs that I present, I like to be a storyteller with, along with the braggadocious.
There has to be some sort of element,
yeah,
braggadocious when it comes to hip hop. I feel like it's just part of the culture, which is something that I enjoy very much.
Yeah.
But so you mentioned with "Can I Live," having that influence in your life that allowed you to come up with, or tell this story and share the story with us. What other people or creatives within the Reading area help mold you into the creative you are today?
So definitely Jared Brown has been my guy since I was like 11 years old, actually. Another big influence is Echo. Seeing his rise from like the early days to becoming like the underground rapper of the year. Just a quick flex kind of. In his documentary where he's talking about his journey going up to New York to accept the award, he talks about how he was at my family's restaurant. It's like a little, that'll forever be tied there. He influenced me quite a bit, along with another rapper named J-Rock. He was the first rapper I ever heard from Reading, so it let me know that like you can make something happen in the city. And other creatives, Pagoda City Records with Jay, Jeff, Zach, Lewis, all the creatives there.
Can you talk about that project a little more? The project with Pagoda City that just happened more recently?
Oh, the Pagoda City mixtape. Yeah, so they created a mixtape with the intention of earning a profit to then deliver that said profit to Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights camp. Jay had hit me up out of the blue because I had made a song with them about a little over a year ago that ended up being on the tape Evergreen, and he asked me like, hey John, like I'm making this project, profits are going to this camp, do you mind if I put the song on there? And me, I'm not gonna say no to put the music out, like yeah, go ahead. And the entire project got well received, but I heard some good things about my record as well.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I listened to Can I Live in Evergreen before you got here today. So I was
nice,
just rocking to some of your music. It was cool to find you on Tidal and Spotify.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm using DistroKid to do so. So another creative, Mateo Toro, he was the one that put me on the DistroKid in the first place. So yeah, that's my guy right there.
Nice, shout out to Mateo. I was just working with him on the Census project the other day.
Yeah, he was working with us actually, getting that done too. So maybe you'll see us on there.
That's awesome. So going into Pagoda City mixtape and the Kaepernick camp that this the profits went towards, you're active not only as a creative within the city, but you are sort of becoming a little bit of a politician, as much as you might hate that name. Want to talk about that journey for you?
So I'm the community leader for the Reading Youth Commission. So essentially, I'm like recruiting kids into the platform, if you will, and just I don't want to say I'm being the face of it, but I'm trying to push the idea forward to people in the city, let them know that young kids have this opportunity to learn policy, so that way they can create the changes in the city that's necessary in the future. As far as my journey within politics, I mean, my family has always been like heavily involved with politics. Going back to my dad when my family first arrived to America, he was like already in these meetings, like trying to figure things out, how the city functions and everything like that. And then that kind of trickled into my brother, being all of us being influenced really, but my brother being the first one to decide like to run for positions and stuff like that. He ran for mayor and everything. So I was always naturally within politics, but I never saw myself as a politician because I just saw there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of I don't want to say imagery that you have to present, but you gotta make sure you look good at all times.
Right, you kind of have to sell yourself, which is what you do as a creative anyway.
Right. But as a creative, you're allowed to display your flaws, like your imperfections, whereas in politics, it's a little hard to get away with something like that. So that was kind of a reason why I didn't want to associate with politics. But growing up in the city, I've always had a love for it. I always appreciate my hometown for what it provided me and my family. So I wanted to give back as much as I possibly could. And with the youth commission, it was a phenomenal first step as far as like City Hall is concerned. I did the rap club at Reading High School to provide young creatives with an opportunity to stay within an educational realm and still do what they love. So this time around is taking people to a new place, but in essence, they're going to be able to change the city to provide themselves and the people around them with things that they feel is necessary within the city. So, yeah.
So it sounds to me like, for one, you had a lot of great leaders and role models growing up and representation to show that you could do something for yourself, whether it was in the world of politics or if it was in the creative scene. So, and then you turned around and you brought a connecting bridge to creativity to the youth to show people how things can be done, or just give them access to another outlet with the rap club at Reading High, and now you're basically pioneering this new wave of the youth convention.
Yeah.
How important is that to have representation, to have role models?
Oh, it's very 100% important. Like you said, like if I hadn't seen my father going to these meetings or seeing my brother run for mayor, I don't think there's any way that I would really see myself being able to do the things that I'm doing. I wouldn't think it's possible. And even further than that, being able to see representation within City Hall now, like if I didn't see that, I wouldn't think it was possible. I wouldn't feel as comfortable doing things like this. You know what I mean? If I didn't see Jahani on City Council, if I didn't see Melissa on City Council, if I didn't see Brian Twyman when he was on City Council, if I didn't see Vaughn Spencer as mayor, if I didn't see Eddie Moran as mayor, like I wouldn't think it's possible. You know what I mean? So for me, in and of itself, I feel it's a responsibility, at the very least for me anyway, to continue on with that path to be some sort of representation within City Hall, but on top of that, have a perspective that relates more to the younger people, in order to try to keep them here as best as possible, make them feel comfortable, because they're the future. They're the wave of the future for the city. So yeah, as far as representation is concerned, without it, I don't think I would have ever done a lot of the things that I'm doing. So